Hi, my name is Steve. I'm the developer for the Bluesquidx single-family acquisition platform. This is going to be a demo for the Global Contract Manager. I'm here on the contract template page. We get here by clicking on this little gear icon over here on the left-hand nav bar and selecting Contract Templates. My page here is empty. I have no templates defined. I have no folders or images uploaded. And if we come over here and look at a contract page for a property, you can see I have no transactions, no templates, and I don't have Dropbox configured. So we're going to walk through all of those processes, and probably going to split this up into a couple of videos. So the first thing I'll point out is over here on the left is this Getting Started help menu over here is giving us a high-level overview of the process from start to finish. The first thing we do is we create a new background image, we upload our source documents, we create a blank template, and then we design that template. And so the first step of that process, we'll come over here, we click on our market, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a folder. We're just going to do an addendum. We'll just do a one-page document, but the same rules apply, principles apply for any PDF document that you want to upload. I'm going to select a document, and I'm just going to call this folder with addendum because I want to kind of make a point out of the fact that what we're dealing with here is a folder. I'm going to call this our HOA folder right here. I'm going to create two of these. So I want to show you what they look like after we put an image inside one. So you can see we've created two folders. These folders are empty, and because they're empty, it's giving us the option to upload a file. So let's grab an addendum. I'll point out at this point in time, and I'll click upload, point out at this point in time that the only kind of document that you can upload here is a PDF. So that's finished processing. Let's open this up again, and now we see that our addendum folder, now rather than giving us the option to choose a file, is telling us that there's something in there. It says that there's one page, and then we can click on that and preview what that is. And then because there's a document in there, we have an option to create a template. So we're going to, let's just call this, actually let's preview this. And this is an old document, June of '83. That's all right. Let's just call this addendum. I think I misspelled that. There we go, addendum. I'm going to click on Create Template. When I do this, it's going to take us straight to the editor. But I'm going to close the editor, and we're going to come straight back to this page because I want to show you that this document, this empty template, is going to show up over here on the left-hand side. So we'll go Create Document. Ignore that for a second. We'll come back to our template manager, and we'll notice that now we have this addendum document that is a global template over here on the left side. You'll notice that this side over here is exactly the same because this document is a source document for creating templates. So if I wanted to create another document from this same background image, I can just create a second template. Again, we'll ignore that. We'll come right back here, and we see now I've got two documents. They're both using the document that's in this folder with addendum. So these are identical to each other, but I could build these different, and I'll point out at this point in time, so I'll come over here to the contracts page and refresh this page, and you'll see that I have two templates. I've got the first one that I did, and then the dummy that I created second. So these are identical to each other, and if I preview them, we can see that it's an addendum that we haven't done anything with. So let's go back over here. I'm just going to delete the one that says delete me. And so that'll leave us with just our original document. So now I'm going to go into the editor. I can either click on the hyperlink that's its name, or I can click on the pencil. Either takes me to exactly the same place. So this takes us to our designer, where we're going to add elements to this contract. So let me point out a couple of navigation elements here. There's our contract home button over here, which takes us right back to our template manager. We have over here on the left, we have this filter, which if we start typing in this filter, it subsets the list of elements over here. And this is just a one-page document, but right here in the center, if it is more than one page, you'll see multiple pages show up right here, and you can click on these page numbers and it'll navigate quickly to these other pages. So we've got our document over here on the left. Oh, last item I'll point out here is this test data. I'm just going to pick a property. These are just random properties that are put in here so that we can see what the data looks like that is in each one of these elements. So if I take this legal description and I just drag it over here, you can see that we've got this legal description right here. And once they're over here, I can reposition those, and I can click on the little red X right there to delete them. So let's build, let's see what it might look like to do an addendum here. I'm going to drag a text input. I'm going to give it a default value of 1. I'll point out that we have the ability to edit these addendums from the property page. But we'll get there here in a minute. I'm going to take a checkbox and put it right down here. I'm going to put the C for checkbox right in there and then select that checkbox. Now I need a date. Well, I need the current date, and one of the options you can see right here, I started typing date, and current date happens to be one of our options. The seller, let's see if we can find our seller. Here's our legal seller right here. And we'll put legal seller right there. And let's find our buyer. Here's our buyer name right here. And the premises or address. So let's go look at addresses. And I'll just point out that there's two address fields. There's an address, which is the abbreviated version. Then there's full address. So let's just drag the full address down here because that has city, state, and zip. And then I'm going to drag some empty text inputs down here. And the point behind these contracts is that we're doing something that satisfies most of our use cases. So I'm just going to say this is an addendum, just so we can see when I start typing in here, these things expand to accommodate our text. Let's go all the way down to the bottom, and we're going to put our buyer's, here's our signer's signature right here. We'll put that right here, and we're going to drag a checkbox down here and check that. And we're going to do the date as well. Date, oops, date, current date is, we'll put that right there. Okay, so this addendum is done. So I'm going to go back to the contracts home page. We've got this addendum that's done. And now let's go over to the property page, and we can see that we have this addendum right here. And we can preview it. And we see that here's this addendum 1. Buyer is checked. It's got today's date. And oh, I didn't put the seller information here. Let me put the seller information right here. Let me go legal seller. We'll go, this is, let's go Mickey Mouse is our seller. I'm going to flip back over to this contract page and just refresh. And we see now we have our seller information in here. We have our buyer information, our address. we have this line that we threw in there as test data, and I've got my buyer's signature and everything down here at the bottom. So, but in our global template, we put some data in here, and we don't want that data to be in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach, or I'm going to clone. I'll click on clone right here, and when I do, we'll see that contract attach itself up here. So I'll click on clone, and now we see we've got this addendum up here. And if I can view it, we can see it's the same, exactly the same thing. But I've got the ability to download this document here. Dropbox is not defined, so I don't have any Dropbox options, but if I did have Dropbox defined, I would have options for Dropbox. And I can delete this document right here and remove it from this transaction, and you can see that our global template is still here, so I'm just going to attach another contract to it. And this time I'm going to come in here and I'm going to edit this document from here. And I want to point out that we're back in the editor, but this is the clone editor. It's exactly the same editor, but this time we're not editing the global contract, we're editing the clone. And so in this particular case, I might say, well, this is not necessarily addendum 1, it's addendum 2. And we might say, rather than having this say this is addendum, we might say buyer to pay all title and closing costs, because in the process of negotiation, we've decided that we're going to make that concession. And now we can see we've got addendum 2, and the buyer is to pay all title and closing costs. I'll just point out very quickly, switch back over to the contract page, that the global template, I'm going to preview the global template, hasn't changed. Still says this is an addendum and it's addendum 1. So what we edit when we click on this is this instance or this clone of this contract. Last thing I'm going to do, because this is getting long, is I'm going to click on this Dropbox configuration. I'm going to grant access and confirm, and I'm going to select my my Dropbox account. We can see that Dropbox is now configured for my app. And once I do that, you can see that I've got some Dropbox document stuff here, and I also have another link up here that says Dropbox. So if I click on Dropbox right there, what that is going to do is it's going to, I'm logged in as Bart, it's going to create a folder that matches the property folder name, and inside there is going to be our document. It's going to have the property name, the date that it was created, and the name of the document. And this is now a file that's local or has been synced from Dropbox to our local computer. So let's go back. Let's go back over here. So just to review the process, we created a folder to hold the document. We uploaded our source document. We created a blank, which moves it over here. And then we went in and we designed the actual contract template. From over on the contract page, we cloned it, attached it to our property. We made some edits to that clone. We downloaded it into our Dropbox account. And now we have this PDF that's on our PC that we can drag onto an email and send to the cross agent. Hope that's helpful. Again, thanks for watching, and happy buying, and we'll see you on the next one.